Yeah.
I mean, the idea of going into a doctor and saying, "I'd like 2 ribs removed, please." Right? Are you sure about this, Prince? For what reason? I don't want to go into it. But let's just say it gives me a certain, something to do in the evenings other than playing my guitar.
Yeah. He'd probably say that there's something when you're a musician. There's an instrument called. It's just do it. Do it, please.
The pink oboe.
Yeah.
Classic. Okay, now listen. What was I going to say today? I was going to say something today that was really important. Now, bear with me, guys. I had a really important point to make. No, it's gone. We're just going to have to play more music.
Great.
Sorry about that.
If I walk down this hallway tonight, it's too quiet.
Prior to that trail, we heard Kristen Hirsch and Michael Stipe from R.E.M. and a track not from Kristen's recent excellent album, but actually from her first solo album, Hips and Makers. There was a track called Your Ghost. It's the Steve Show, 6 Music with me, Dan.
Hello.
And Rufus.
Hello.
Oh, sounds posh. Classy. Adding a bit of class to an otherwise, working class show. Nothing wrong with that, but blue collar and proud of it, mate. Now listen, I need to get your opinion, guys, and also that of the listeners, because Harry's email is not the only correspondence that I've received of late. This is a letter that was received from Cosmopolitan magazine. To me, addressed to me. We are pleased to tell you that Stephen Merchant has been selected by the Cosmopolitan 2007 nomination committee to be invited to join the Centrefolds Hall of Fame. Stephen has been deemed so desirable by our 2 million readers. Why are you laughing?
Sorry, I just remembered something funny.
Stephen has been deemed so desirable by our 2 million readers that we would be honoured to photograph him to appear in the Centrefolds VIP section of Cosmopolitan in June. Previous Centrefolds have included Lenny Kravitz, Stephen Dorff, Burt Reynolds, Roger Moore, Danny Dyer, Nick Ryan, etc. We hope that Stephen joins the ranks of the exceptional men we are featuring this year. As you can see from the images on the enclosed invitation, Centrefolds is a nude shoot. A nude shoot. However, Stephen will have a closed set and nothing untoward will be seen in the final shot. The desired effect is cheeky or classy, never smutty. His modesty will remain intact. All the very best, blah, blah, blah. Now, it is, of course, for prostate cancer awareness, which is something I'm, all for, and I've, like to think I've got that behind that in the past. But I'm not sure I want my nothing untoward, seen by even the photographer, let alone the nation's lovelies.
You simply have to do it.
I'm not convinced.
You simply have to.
That 2 million of the Cosmopolitan readers, when surveyed, instantly threw my name into the ring.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see nude in your magazine? Well, it's obviously Stephen Merchant. What, that lanky bloke from who works for Ricky Gervais? Well, yeah, obviously, yeah. I cannot believe for a moment that's happened. But obviously, it's not up to me, to make that decision. But it is ultimately. But really, let's firstly gauge the reaction here in the room. Rufus, what are your thoughts?
I've never been so excited about a centrefold in my life. I just think a couple of cold drinks in the studio, the glasses come off your nose, down, isn't it? Right. And then onto
Okay.
It'd be brilliant. It's a brilliant idea. I think you should definitely do it. What do you reckon, Dan?
I think absolutely right, yeah. A lot of these leggy lovelies, like yourself, they all say, well, I've got to do it when I'm young and my body is beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
And then when I'm old and sagging, I can refer back to the Centrefold Cosmo May 07.
Yeah.
And boff, there you are. A great document of
my once.
That is absolute.
Of your marvellous document.
Document of your document.
Jude, you're a lady. What are your thoughts? Yay or nay? Why are you even pausing? Why the hesitation?
Because we have a professional relationship. I don't want to, put myself in an awkward position by saying that I want to see you.
I'm not asking you to put yourself in an awkward position. You're not getting in the photo, love. I'm saying, what are your thoughts?
Do it.
No, but seriously, as a woman, if you were reading that magazine and you came across that in the and that's no pun intended, and you saw that magazine, that centre page, what would you think?
I think
you think delish.
Clearly.
Okay.
I think what a brave man.
All right, let's get the response of the listeners. And obviously a lot of people are going to be going, oh yeah, you should do it, because they're saying it as a joke. But think sensibly, think long and hard about whether you think that I should do this. 64046 stephen.6music@bbc.co.uk. All right, we have our two guests choosing songs for us this week. Later on in the show, we will have you, the listeners, choosing some of the tunes. But we start with Dan, who has chosen a tune for us. Is that right? Am we choosing Dan? Rufus, really? Okay, well, blimey, for your guests first. Ruth, thank you. Ruth, what have you chosen for us?
I've got a track called Passing Stranger by Scott Matthews. I think he's quite well known to Six Music listeners. He's from Wolverhampton. He's a young lad. I think he's in his 20s. I think he's big on kind of Jules Holland's show, that sort of thing. He was introduced to me by Michael Sheen when I was doing Frost Nixon with him. As a kind of, he knew I was a big Jeff Buckley fan, and he's a kind of Jeff Buckley-ish kind of voice. He's a bit more bluesy than Jeff Buckley, and he's also a bit more kind of Indian influence. There's a lot more of that kind of tabla and all that sort of thing. I've got a little bit of his MySpace page here, which I'm going to have to read out, because I was in a bit of a rush to get here, and I wanted to get something good that I could read out. I didn't even know if he was American or English when to be honest, a couple of days ago, and so I found out a bit about him. But I think someone from his record company must have written the copy on his MySpace page, because it exclamation marks in the first kind of 50 words or so. So we start out, throughout history, which is always a bit of a big start for MySpace, you know. Throughout history, the Midlands has played an important part in shaping the history of rock, folk and popular music. It is no surprise then when we learn that Scott Matthews was born and bred in Wolverhampton. Okay. That's got a wobbly line all over it. And it's a lesser known fact that he attended the same senior school as Beverly Knight.
Oh, wow.
So who knew?
Let's let the music speak for itself.
Exactly.
Scott Matthews. Passing Stranger from Scott Matthews, Rufus's choice on today's Steve Show. Thank you, Ruf. I've not been introduced to Scott Matthews, but he's a welcome voice in my ears. Although I'm not sure. I mean, the song didn't blow my mind, but it was a pleasant sound. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. It was like Harry was back in the chair. You know, it was a very Harry sort of choice. It's amiable, and it goes along there. And it sort of finishes.
Ooh, damned with faint praise.
Yeah,
there.
a little bit.
Let's throw the ball into your court then. Now, what have you chosen for us? Because lest we forget, in previous weeks you have chosen some absolute stinkers.
Yes.
And it's not just me who said that, it's the audience, the listeners, the Six Music listeners. So you've got a lot to prove.
A few weeks ago, I was voted Britain's most hated man after I played a song by the new Rotary Connection.
Yes.
And in a way, I was hurt, and I'm going to try and fight back here, because I'm playing a song which is very recent, and it's not by the Rotary Connection, but it's clearly influenced by their stuff. And I'm hoping that this will capture their euphoric big soul sound. It's by 4 Hero, and it's called Morning Child.
Dan, what is that track?
That track is Morning Child by 4 Hero. It's the opening track on their new album Play With The Changes, which only came out last week. But it's massively influenced by the Rotary Connection, sort of late 60s, early 70s. Big sound, euphoric soul. Love it. It's really uplifting, isn't it?
What did you think? What was your logic when we had so heavily slammed Rotary Connection in the past that you would then think to play something derived from them?
Yeah,
it seems madness.
Yeah, it is madness. It's that sense that I'm right and a million people are wrong, and I've got to plough this furrow until they come round to my way of thinking.
I cannot even decide whether this track is good or bad. I need the listeners to do it for me. 64046 stephen.6music@bbc.co.uk. Did you enjoy Morning Child by 4 Hero? Rufus, your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked it very much. I like the little kind of string sting, and it's kind of got a nice marching kind of swelling feel to it that I really like. It's good.
Talking of swelling, I'm still asking, should I appear in Cosmopolitan Centrefolds bed? You can also, as you're voting for the tracks, you can also text in 64046 your thoughts on that. We have to go to the news. After the news, we've got great tracks coming up from Texas, Simply Red, Cher, and a new one from Rowan Keating. No, of course I joke. We have tunes from Bob Dylan, Kings of Leon, Wedding Present, and more of your listener choices. I'll speak to you after the news.
Digital radio. Online. BBC 6 Music.
Well, I don't know what's going on, people. If you know, email in or text in 64046, because I tell you, this end, it's been chaos. I mean, it's been like a scene from the Poseidon Adventure, frankly. There is it's people screaming around, you know, headless, torsos falling from windows, crashing through plate glass. There has been screaming, tears, largely from me. And I'm telling you, I'm not the sort of guy who copes well in a crisis. I've been swearing. There was a rule when I first started radio: never swear in an on-air studio. Frankly, screw 'em, because I have been swearing like a trooper. Because, frankly, I didn't realise Six Music was such a tin pot station. It turns out it is. The equipment, I mean, Jude is a very, very professional woman. This woman knows what she's doing. She's been in radio for 86 years. She was there the early days of Marconi, or whoever it was who got involved early on. Was he telly or radio? I can never remember.
He was radio.
He was radio. But she's been there since then, and even she was appalled and flustered. And it turns out that this never happens during Terry Wogan's breakfast show, does it?
No.
You don't get what's he got, about 8 million listeners now? You don't get to do that if you've got this kind of chaos happening. And this is all state of the art technology as well. I'm appalled and offended and disgusted, and I feel frankly that someone should. And the other thing is that I am not being paid enough, frankly, to deal with these kind of conditions. I'm doing this out of love, not for money, and it angers me because I should get a decent pay hike after this. Anyway, enough complaining. We heard a little bit of Bob Dylan, one more cup of coffee from, I think his 1976 album Desire.
We heard all of it.
Did we hear all of it?
We heard a little bit of Amy Mann.
We heard a lovely little bit of Amy Mann, which maybe we can play again at some other point because I love Amy.
Play it now.
We might do it in a sec. Can we play it shortly?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. While we just acclimatise to the situations, because we've moved into another studio now, and we've just got to. I've just got to, lay out all my candles and incense just so that I can show that. So while I do that, let's hear a bit from Amy Mann, who personally, as far as I'm concerned, is the perfect Six Music Steve Show artist. A person who is criminally underrated. Frankly, why Dido can shift millions and Amy Mann not, then I don't know. But anyway, here's 4th of July from her album Whatever. Amy Mann from her album Whatever, and the song 4th of July. Those opening lyrics really just to me exemplify why Amy is so brilliant. Today's the 4th of July, another June has gone by, and when they light up our tone I just think, what a waste of gunpowder and sky. It's beautiful, it's poetry. Round of applause for Amy Mann. Beautiful. She has redeemed what was turning into a chaotic mess of a show.
Well done, Amy.
For those of you that have just joined us, we are a little bit flustered and a bit taken aback because the desk, the buttons, just started to smoke and fume, and so overpowered were they by the brilliance of this radio. It's probably actually a ploy by one of the other Six Music DJs, probably.
Of course it was.
Yeah, no, that's instantly what I'm thinking. You know how after 9/11 there's instantly a conspiracy theory? Well, I'm hoping that listeners will start to concoct their own and put them on the web.
I'd like to say that living up to my poshness, I just stood up and started singing a Benjamin Britten song.
Yeah, exactly.
Thinking of that's what I always do in times of crisis.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if the records aren't working, the CDs aren't, I'll just sing Britain, and by God we'll be okay.
Yeah, and we almost were. But
And in my usual blue collar way, I just I soiled myself and legged it.
yeah, exactly.
But never mind.
Yeah, when I in my capacity as a minor celebrity, I just sat here waiting for someone else to deal with it.
Yes.
But anyway, we've managed to have struggled through, and we've got by. It's okay. And so yes, as I say, Amy Mann redeemed us by that wonderful tune. It always frustrates me that Amy Mann, who's wrote some amazing songs for the film Magnolia. Do you ever see the film Magnolia? One of the great films of all time. And she, of course, famously was nominated for that and lost out, I believe, to film, which I think makes a mockery of the Oscars coming soon. Okay, now each week we like to get some listeners, Six Music listeners, on to just champion songs of their own choosing, and this week is of no exception, despite the massive cock-up just now. Dan, who have you got for me?
Jenny McKean, hopefully, should be on the line for you, Steve.
Jenny McKean?
Hello.
Oh, it's Jenny McKean. Round of applause for Jenny McKean. No, you see, that was a very mediocre. Yeah, let's move up. Jenny, have you been listening to the show?
Yeah, everything sort of went a bit funny.
What happened your end?
I thought it was my computer that crashed and it all went weird, so
It was our
I
fault.
restarted it and everything seemed okay, but was it your end?
It was our fault. It was the BBC's fault.
Oh no.
You don't imagine that, do you, when you pay your licence fee? Do you pay your licence fee?
No, that was probably my parents.
Ooh, as long as someone in the house is, that's what pays our wages. Jenny, how old are you and where are you calling from?
I'm 17, I'm from the Isle of Wight.
Are you a regular Six Music listener?
Not really, I only really tune in to listen to this every Sunday, so...
Do you listen to me? And
Yeah.
you don't stick around for other shows?
I might listen to a bit afterwards, but yeah.
But do you know what? Just listen to me. Just tune in to me and then listen to maybe a commercial station for some great music and great chat. So listen, what kind of music are you into? Are you someone who goes out there and explores new music, or do you just wait for it to be introduced to you lazily like me?
Yeah, no, I like looking for different stuff on MySpace and stuff like that, but I like a lot of ska and two-tone and things like that.
Really? Now, it's interesting because you are fairly young, and I'm wondering, I hear a lot of rumours that MySpace and the interweb is very much where it's all happening. Is that true? Are you on MySpace constantly? Are you on the internet constantly?
I am, yes.
Really?
Well, I use MySpace quite a bit, but yeah.
And do you have your own MySpace webpage?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, are you a massive nerd?
No!
No? Oh, God bless you. Now, listen, what tune are you going to introduce to me, Jenny?
It's Just Abuse Me by Air Traffic.
Now, I know nothing of Air Traffic. What can you tell me?
Well, I didn't really know much about them, but I went to a gig with my friend a couple of weeks ago because she had a spare ticket, and it was the last song that they played, and it was just amazing.
All right, well, listen, we're going to hear it now, and then I will give you my verdict. Stay there, Jenny.
Okay.
Thank you. I absolutely love that track. What was it called again?
It's Just Abuse Me by Air Traffic.
By Air Traffic. I tell you, I don't particularly like the name Air Traffic. I find that a little bit annoying, a bit frustrating.
Yeah, it's a bit bland.
It is, isn't it? I've always got a test. I don't know if you heard my test, which is that I always imagine they're being introduced, maybe just supporting a U2 just before Wembley.
yeah.
And you've got to imagine, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Air Traffic. It's dull. I can't imagine a crowd going crazy for it. So, but despite that, I thought the music was absolutely dynamite. And I've just been informed by our producer that apparently they are headlining the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, on Friday the 16th of March. Would you like free tickets?